Hi, I'm Beth Harold, founder and CEO of Outside the Box Creation. Welcome to our second art video for parents who are home with kids. This one is about lines and drawing things in a three-dimensional way. As I mentioned in the earlier video, I like to start out reading a book with kids, get them grounded in some sort of a context for what they're going to be doing with an art project. You don't have to do that, but if you want to, this is a great book to start out with. I think most of you have probably seen it. A lot of you probably have it, Harold and the Purple Crayon. And you can talk to your kids about how Harold is drawing lines with his crayon. And as you can see, these lines are representative of the real thing, like this sailboat shape, but they don't look three-dimensional. And with some quick, easy tips, you can show kids how to make things look three-dimensional, and it will blow their minds. Okay, so for instance, look at this square. Look how flat it is. But then, look what you can do with it pretty easily by showing the back of the square. So you start out drawing the square, and I would do this in pencil first, but you know, if kids want to do it with markers, just let them try. They might get a little more frustrated though. And I like to use a ruler. So for instance, if you're doing a square, you know, then this is, let's say, roughly 2 inches, And the key in drawing perspective in a very easy way is that you keep most of the lines parallel with one another. And I'll show you what I mean. So square, this line is 2 inches, and you just pull it down and it's parallel with this line. This line is also 2 inches and it's parallel with that line. But then when you want to show the back, this line is also 2 inches and it's parallel with this line and this line. This line is also 2 inches, parallel with that line and that line. So this can be somewhat arbitrary, the angle where you start to draw the 2 inches here. But you can just eye it, and then whatever angle this comes in at, then you're going to also make that parallel and make that parallel, okay? And then the square, it can become a box, it can become a present where you could draw the ribbon around it. You could have things crawling out of the box. You could also show the inside of the box, where this line would also be parallel to this line. And then this line is parallel to those lines. And then you'd have another one coming up here. Sorry, doing this one-handed is tough. See that? So then you can show that you're looking at the inside of the box. That will just make kids so excited to see how to do that. You can do the same thing with a circle. And then, in this case, you would draw another circle behind it. And these lines aren't quite parallel because of something called one-point perspective, where you would have a point off in the distance and everything is going to your vanishing point. But you don't need to get that technical with them. You can just let them play around. And if they were to make these lines totally parallel, it would still look just fine. Absolutely. Let's take a look at doing another type of a cylinder. So you can do sort of a flattened out circle on the top. Think about how you look at the top of a pop can when it's sitting on the table. And here, again, this should be parallel with this. So whatever curve you put here, you put here. This is parallel with this. And then this could become a garbage can. It could become all sorts of different things. A juice glass. You could also then show the inside of it if you're saying that it's a glass. Oops. Okay, see that? Get this out of here. A triangle becomes a wedge. You draw the triangle this way, you draw a parallel line, and then you connect the parallel lines with 2 other parallel lines. Again, this angle isn't really crucial. There can be some different degrees in there, but you just want this to be parallel with this. And then the wedge could become a wedge of cheese. So there's a part in Harold and the Purple Crayon where he's in front of a house with a hot air balloon. So then you could show kids, get all my papers out of here, how to make a house look three-dimensional. So you draw the flat house just like most kids do when they're drawing a house, and then you make it into a 3D square, sort of. Just the same principles that we talked about. Parallel, 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 parallel. Okay? Parallel, parallel. Now, you could even make the chimney 3D, and I haven't done this all the way and just shown it for you, because this can get pretty tricky. So I would have the kids stick to large shapes and see what they can do. Have them put windows in there. They could make the windows look like they go in and they're 3D even. Okay, whoops. It's supposed to be parallel. And then you have it go in. And suddenly, well, that's like if it was recessed. So suddenly you've got some really fun interest in there where it's like they're looking out and there's a person in there. So have fun.